Um, All right, so welcome to the cosmic energy forecast for the week of December. What is it? December something. December 1st through the 7th. There we go. All right. Time flies. Living out of time and space. Hey, everyone. All right, so as we move through this evolution that we're literally step by step moving through, the real question becomes how do we function? Hopefully, this will give you some answers, some useful tools. So, the vibrations, the frequencies in this week ahead, can you say eclipse season? Indeed, it is definitely pivot and eclipse season, and you can feel the energies. I personally, I love eclipses because they make me pivot. They literally, you cannot sit stagnant. I love it. All right. So, what eclipses do? They bring up some stuff. I want to say a different word than stuff, but they bring it up. Magic from the cosmos. It's literally magic from the cosmos. Eclipses bring up this energy that literally forces you to adjust so that you can see and experience the world in an entirely different way. Because remaining stuck during a expansive energy is not literally allowed. So, eclipse energy forces you to bring into your awareness what was previously unconscious, like you had no awareness of it before. It's literally the gift of the cosmos. Eclipses are. That's the way I see them. Now, they can be harsh. They can be hard. I'm not going to lie. So, the easiest thing to do is to not fight it, right? Not fight these energies that are literally pushing you off the edge. Instead, move through these energies. Don't think about how. No, that's going to pull you down into the edge, and you're never going to be able to climb your way out. So, don't think about the how. Nor do you really want to judge your emotions or your thoughts. You're just going to let them flow and do whatever they want to do, but you're not going to hang on to them. You're not going to believe them because they really are not your truth. You're not going to believe them. You're just going to let them move through you, right? Once you do that, I want you to take yourself and move out into the conscious, like literally move out into the cosmos. See the big picture of what your experience, the minutia of it, the thoughts, the emotions, the belief systems, all the crying and the, that denser kinds of energy that we resist all the time, but it's really not dense energy. After you get through that kind of energy, there's like huge enlightenments on the other side. But an easier way to do that, unless you like to have those kinds of experiences, then we don't want to bypass any of those kinds of experiences, but we want to move them through us very quickly if we can. And so taking yourself, looking at the bigger picture, how I do that is I literally take my energy and move it out into the cosmic field. And then I look back at myself and I take awareness in all of the things. All of the things. That's getting a big picture. It keeps you from staying stuck. Well, it keeps you from getting stuck because you can see things in a whole different perspective when you're out of the experience of it. Experience here is the limitation. But if you take your energy and you pull yourself outside of that limitation, you can see the limitation for what it really is. Do you see how that's just such a beautiful gift that the cosmos gives us? We just have to know how to work it, how to maneuver through it. So if you are stuck, demand what you want. Demand your outcome. Don't sit idle. That's no, because victimhood is knocking at your door when you're sitting idle. Don't do that. Don't sit idle. Do something. Move the body. Do some journaling. Talk with a friend. Call your coach. I don't care what it is. Like, do something. When you're in idle mode, you have to do something. It's not a place to just be. There's a time to be and there's a time to do. When you're in idle mode and you're feeling stuck, you have to do something. And since we are moving into an air element, the solstice is bringing in the element of air. Why not try to use air to help you move through your biggest fears? Do some breathing exercises. Go outside if it's a windy day. How else can you use air to help you move through things? Just getting up and moving through air might be just enough to catapult you forward. So the most important thing to remember this week is to stay focused. If you don't get anything else out of this, I don't even know what to call these, out of these forecasts, remember to focus. And what you want to focus on is what fills you up, what brings you energy. Because when we move through these types of energy fields, these big bombarded eclipse kind of energies, which brings up our junk, it's going to bring us up. It's going to bring all of that up. We're going to feel stuck. But if you remain focused on what you want the outcome to be, and if you remember, we talked exclusively last week when I did the special thing on eclipses, is that you need to fill yourself up all the time, moving through these kinds of energies, because these energies will deplete you if you let them. So do something every hour if you have to, but for sure do something every day that helps you to be fulfilled. Move that body, stay focused on what you desire. Maybe, filling yourself up is having a nice hot tea and you just bundle up and read a good book. Maybe that's what fills you up. Whatever it is, doesn't matter what it is. The point is to do it. You see the doing here. Using that masculine energy to do something, to fill yourself up, will pull you through into the being portion of the feminine energy on the other side. So be conscious about your patterns. Again, this week, be super conscious about your patterns. If staying stuck, staying idle is a pattern, what will you do to release from that pattern? So with this cosmic energy, we may pivot, but you also have a chance to change your patterns. Like that's what pivots are, right? Like we're going down the road and then all of a sudden there's a pivot. Literally, you got to go a 90-degree angle different. Well, when you pivot, you have to change those patterns. Those old patterns going down this way, they don't work for that way or that way or that way. They don't work for those kinds of ways. And if you're going to pivot, you have to support your pivot. Otherwise, you will revert to that old stagnant kind of energy that you just tried to get yourself out of. So what are the patterns that you need to change in order to support the new, more expanded version of yourself? Now, the cosmos knows exactly how we humans work. And it is bringing in some grounding energy to help you stabilize the new you. Those new thoughts, the new emotions, those new belief systems, the new patterns. Towards the end of the week, the cosmos brings in that stabilizing kind of energy. But it will require you to support. It will require you to support yourself in the new you. So that means it will show you new patterns, but you're the one that has to repeat the patterns in order to support the energy of the new, more expanded version of yourself. So be very, very conscious. Be very aware about your patterns. Patterns are how you ground into this new energy. We're creatures of patterns, habits, behaviors. We are behavioral beings. Our behaviors solidify those patterns. So be hyper aware, not just aware, be hyper aware of how your behaviors either support the new you or they sort of pull you backwards. Okay? Towards the end of the week, your cravings will be front and center. Oh, cravings. But again, if you're not conscious about them, you will miss them because you're going to be overwhelmed with all this other stuff. And when the cravings come in, the real meaning to a craving, not the, sugar and I don't know, alcohol, drugs, whatever those cravings are, right? So you're not looking at those kind of cravings. Dig into what you really crave. I mean, they'll show up superficially through that, right? What you're most likely craving towards the end of the week and into next week will be your connection. The people that you connect socially, familial connections, your business connections, your work connections, like that's probably going to be the craving because you're wanting to support the new you, but the new you needs to have those kinds of really expanded conversations, and those only come in connections with others. So be careful of those craving things that are trying to come in. They'll show up as cravings just to get your attention. Because as conscious beings, right, we still pay attention to our cravings and our behaviors more than we do our own knowings. So reach out and connect. Don't be afraid to reach out and connect with people. That's a supporting action. All right, next week, there will be confusion. Lots and lots of confusion coming in, rolling in. So pivot and bask. Bask in the glory of being aware of your patterns, being aware of how you're supporting yourself, how you're grounding into this new you, how you're literally becoming that you've always dreamed you knew. Right? That new you that you've been dying to be, well, it's already here. And this pivot is like literally moving you in that direction. Open yourself up to the pivot and all the new stuff that comes with it, even though it might be a little scary in the beginning. But it's okay, you got this. Because you're going to change your patterns, your awareness, everything about you to support that new you that you've been knowing is coming all year long. All right, beautiful gods and goddesses, queens and kings, priestesses and priests. Can you feel the energy of that? All right. Have an amazing week. This is Angela Blaha signing off from the cosmos.